1140 The Fan.
Talkin Money!
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
That's my name. Say my name. Hey, our phone screener there has a heavy finger, and apparently she's dropped a couple people. So I think Matt was on hold, and we dropped him by accident. So, Matt, if we dropped you, just give us a call back if you want, Matt.
Hey, we got to head down to IMAX.
Bueller.
You got to watch that Mission Impossible 3.
I haven't seen that yet. Is that playing down there?
Yep.
So we'll have to go down and see it. So here's the deal. We do have some IMAX tickets to give away if you want to do that as well today and you're not a cupcake person. So if you get get on the line with us or get our quiz questions right, you can choose some IMAX passes. If you don't, which would be the majority of you, you can go to IMAX.com/Sacramento. Under the discount code, put in my last name, Tarbell, Tarbell. You get 25% off your tickets. You get 25% off your food at the snack bar. You get free parking across the street. All kinds of stuff because you know people. I don't know who you know, but usually when you put in Tarbell, they double the bill and throw you out the door. But in this case, at IMAX.com/Sacramento, put in Tarbell under the discount code, and I got you covered.
Actually, there's 3 different movies playing there right now. Born to be Wild, 3D movie. That Journey 2, the one with the wrestler, the bald guy from The Mummy 2.
Okay.
What's that
yeah.
guy's name?
Yeah.
He was fighting reptiles. And Tornado Alley.
I thought you said the other one play.
No, it's not. That was a
special engagement, huh?
Yep.
It'll come back. We'll see it there. Off the text line at 441140. Jeff, is there anything out there for those of us who aren't walking disasters, especially if we haven't bought a house? Yeah, most of you are not walking disasters. I mean, what we hear about is the 5%, 5 or 6%, and those are the ones that are garnering all the attention right now. But about 90 to 95% of you have no problems with your credit, no problems with your job, and are not upside down or would like to buy a house. So there's a lot of great programs for those of you who have good credit. And you should check into those because there's lowdown, there's some first-time buyer programs, there's a variety of things depending on where you want to buy and what you want to buy. So I highly encourage you to call myself or somebody else. 338-9400 is my number during the week. If you want to get pre-approved to figure out what you can do, we can do it. So yeah, we got the Mexico thing from the Coke, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it wasn't East LA and it wasn't Alabama. It was Mexico. And it wasn't Iceland. So we got a couple people on hold here at 339-1140. If you want to jump in, let's grab Paul. Paul has been patiently waiting. Paul, how you doing?
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
Yes, I have a loan that I had an interest only that is coming to its fruition in November, and our home is worth probably $100,000 or more less than what's on the books for.
Okay.
And we've approached our mortgage company, which is Everhome, which has been bought up. We're like 4 times bought up. We approached them. They sent emails telling us if we would have a desire to want to modify, and I actually called them about it. And then when I told them the circumstances, they chose to balk and said, there's nothing we can do for you.
Okay.
And then the second part is they sent another one, and my wife approached them. The home is a little more than 10 years old, and things are starting to fall apart. So I did some repairs, and now I'm starting to contemplate if I don't know for sure we're going to be in this home if they're not willing to try and negotiate something with us. The thing is that we've always been current, never missed a payment. And the thing is, all I'm trying to do is just get a fixed rate. I'm not asking for I don't want you to give me anything. All I'm asking is to refinance it at a rate, and then we can just go from there.
Okay.
But it just seems like everybody's doing nothing.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, Paul. I'm gonna put you back on hold because I'm getting a little bit of static off your phone there. But the good question is, so first off, what happens when an interest-only loan becomes the end of the interest-only term? Well, it's going to become, for the most part, they become fixed. And they usually will send you a letter about 3 to 4 months in advance of that term ending to tell you that it's going to become fixed and what the rate will be. Not all of them. Some could become an ARM. They'll remain an ARM for on a 1-year ARM basis. But a lot of them become fixed. But the the hard part of it is they become fixed, and they generally become amortized over another 20 years. So they become a fully amortized 20-year loan. Now, right now, the rate will probably be pretty good if it's going to come up in the near future, but it's going to be spread out now over 20 years, not 30. The payment's going to be probably a little tough if you've been going from interest only to a fully amortized 20-year loan. That could be a fairly rude jump.
Right.
So again, I ask Paul to do the same thing I asked everybody else to do earlier. Figure out if you're Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA. If you're not any of the three above, hold on just a little bit longer. I think some of these banks might be trying to contact you to live up to the new rules, and we haven't even got to all the settlement yet, or what's been proposed as a settlement. We'll have to do that in the 10 o'clock hour because, hey, we got 2 hours today, so hang around. So we'll talk about that some more. But and then next Saturday, for all of you that are in the same predicament, and the predicament being, I don't know whether I should jump ship now or hang in there with it. Next Saturday in the 10 o'clock hour, Nick, do you have her name there? We have a CPA coming in who is going to discuss all she does. I mean, well, I don't know all she does, but her main focus is dealing with clients in the IRS. Donna Sauter, S-A-U-T-E-R, is going to be here. She's a CPA who's been working with clients who have been stuck with IRS bills because they foreclosed or short-sold their home and didn't realize there was a tax bill that came with it. They just thought everybody gets to walk from the tax bill. That is not accurate. So next Saturday, 10 o'clock, Donna will be here in studio with me, and we're going to take all these kind of calls and questions. So please tune in to hear her, because if you make a mistake, the IRS doesn't play games with you, and they want their money. I don't think you can bankrupt from an IRS lien, so we'll talk about that as well.
You know, Jeff, I think it's real important. Back in 2007, when the market was doing a lot of these 5/1 arms and adjustables, you really want to make sure you know whether or not you have, if you have an interest-only option, let's say for 5 years, and it's coming due this year, you need to know whether that loan is going to be a variable moving forward with principal and interest payments, or whether it's going to be a fixed loan for the next 25 years. So there were a lot of people that got 30-year fixed rate loans with a 5-year interest only option.
Right.
So during that 5-year period, they were able to make interest only, and they will roll into 25-year fixed rate loan at the end of 5 years. Some of those were interest only, but are going to be now, remain arms,
yeah,
but with principal and interest payments. So if you don't know, but you know something's coming, just call your lender. If you don't have a copy of your note, you can get a copy of your note.
Yeah.
Find out ahead of time, so at least you can make plans on what's coming.
Off the text line at 441140. Nick, it's The Rock who's in the movie you were mentioning. And Mission Impossible movie is playing on a limited engagement out at the IMAX. So that's either somebody from IMAX or that's Lisa. Keeping you straight, so we'll get
All
there. Got a couple phone lines open and a couple people on hold. We got a few more minutes. We're doing okay. Let's get to Dan. Welcome to Talkin Money, Dan. How you doing?
Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
Good.
Actually, I wanted to get your expert advice here on my particulars. Or I have on my first of all, I'm 42. I don't know if this will make a difference, but I have 22 years left on a 30-year fix, and I'm paying at 5.125%. Then I have a second, have about 12 years left on that, and it's about 6%. So I'm wondering if it's worth looking into refinancing with the low rates going on right now.
And do you have if you add the two together, do you have any equity in the house still, or do you?
Yeah, we're definitely we've been in the house about almost 11 years, so
okay.
Still have equity in the house.
Hey, we found one. And his name is Dan, everybody. Hey, Dan, we're all coming to your house.
Time to play the lottery.
You're the one guy who won't be foreclosed on this week, so we're going to be coming to your house for the. Yeah, that's really a math problem. I mean, you might look at, so you could do a couple things. I mean, 12. How much do you owe on the second?
It's about 30. I want to say about 31,000.
Okay, so it's fairly small.
Mm-hmm.
So you might just look at doing a couple things. You could take out a new 20-year fixed rate loan on your first, which would probably put you somewhere around the high threes in rate. Maybe get something that's not real expensive, get kind of a low cost, if not no cost, new first mortgage for 20 years, maybe even a 15, but probably the 20. You could do a 22-year if you wanted to keep the term the same. And either, I guess you have to make a decision. You could either try to pay down that second faster and get rid of it by any savings you do encompass. My guess is you probably could get a 15-year fixed on the first mortgage and pay a pretty close to the same payment you're paying now, and pay it off in 15 years, or about seven years earlier. So there's a couple things there. It's worth, going through the hoops a little bit, just to have run the numbers, and certainly I'm more than happy to help you do that, or whomever. But if you want to shoot me some information, it's about a 5-minute math calculation. This is what it would cost. These are your options. This is what it would save you. You can decide whether it's worth doing or not. If you have a very small first mortgage, it may not be worth doing. But
I think I'm probably about one. I think we'll have about just under 160 left.
Oh yeah, it probably makes some sense. I bet you could get to a 15 and not change your payment very much.
Okay.
So that might be a pretty sweet deal to take 7 years, or 5 or 7 years off that deal.
Now, do you think we would have to look at the math too and decide whether or not it'd be worth combining them both? Or
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, you could look at that as well too. As long as if you combine the two of them together, as long as you're below 80% loan to value. But sometimes you don't get quite as good a pricing when you're paying off a second as well. But certainly that would be one of the calculations to make. There is look at all those options.
Okay, great.
All right, Dan. Thank you very much. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon. Yep, we'll put him back on hold and see. We'll get. How are we doing on time? We got one more. Okay. Hey, David, we got 2 minutes for you. What's happening?
All right, hey Jeff. I'm not behind or anything on my mortgage. I am underwater about $80,000.
Okay.
But I forgot. Was there anything out there for FHA loans? Because I have an FHA loan.
Oh yeah. What's the rate you have now?
I'm at 5%, which is fairly low, but I know they were dropping down about like 4 or something.
Yeah. I'm glad you called, Dave, because that's a good question. For those of you that have the FHA loan, FHA has a beautiful little feature that goes with their loans, and it's called a streamline refinance. And basically, it basically means there is no appraisal, so the lender doesn't know whether you're upside down or not. There is no income documentation, so you don't have to prove, that you're still making the same income. You do have to have a decent credit score, at least a 640 for credit to do it. But here's the only catch with the FHA Streamline. You must drop your payment 5%, not the rate, but the payment 5% in order to qualify. And if you're at 5%, David, that's not going to work. You're going to have to be probably closer to either have a really big mortgage or be closer to probably 5.5 in order to make it work, because FHA will not allow you to include your closing costs in the new loan. You got to pay them. So generally you're looking for a no-cost loan. So you can run the numbers. I don't think you're going to make it with a 5% mortgage. I got to put you back on hold because that music means we got to take one more break. Hey, we're coming back for hour number 2 of Talkin Money. I really appreciate all the phone calls today. This is making this time fly by. You can text us at 441140 or give us a call, 339-1140. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. This is Talkin Money. My name is Jeff Tarbell. That's Nick Perjanik. Be right back, Jack.